Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 24 of Brain Drain, Two Idiots Learn to Code. I am Davie from Amax Games, or Idiot Davie, as I've been joking about since the start of this series, and I am alone again for this one. And today I'm hoping to go through the fix for the problems I had during the last stream that I ended up taking offline because I was getting very frustrated by it, and a couple of other changes which basically almost brings my game ready as far as I'm concerned to be sent out to some testers and actually have them test the game, give me feedback, but we shall go through that in a moment. So with that in mind, let's jump into our game. So I have two projects open at the moment. Hold on, something's not working. I attached a new camera. Let me just jump back and double check that. Okay, moment. No, it seems fine now. Okay. So one of the little additions I've set up for this one, and I don't know how long it's going to be useful, but I can now do this. And you can see a device that I'm going to be testing this on. It's not perfect, it's a camera pointed at a tablet, but it should for the time being allow me to actually show you when I'm testing on a physical device. So with that in mind, this is episode 24, and let's get into our game. So head over to Unity. As I said, I've got two projects open, so you've maybe seen this one on my screen before. This is where I actually test the new things before I actually go in, and if I'm having problems with something more specifically, I'll test it on here before I put it into the Brain Drain game. And the reason for this is this application compiles in less than 5 minutes. Brain Drain has taken over an hour to compile before, so it allows me to test on physical devices a lot quicker. So some work has been done on here. This is where, for example, I set up the shop and learned how to set up a shop. So if I go back over to the actual Brain Drain project, nothing much has changed around here. However, something has changed up here. We have the music manager, and I have added the audio I have added the audio source that I previously had externally to Music Manager. This seems to have resolved the really irritating problem I had with the volume not being persistent throughout the game, and the music not playing when we went to the main game. However, that wasn't the only issue. Music Manager and Settings Manager were clashing, so I had to edit the code in order to actually resolve the conflicts between the two of them. This was just my naivety, and obviously using AI, I was asking AI how to do something, I was implementing that, and then later on I was asking AI to do something else related to the first thing, and it got tied up. Again, I am firmly in the camp at the moment that AI is not ready for prime time for a lot of things, and this is one of them. So what actually closed there? Okay, I can close this one down just now, I think. Can always open it up later if I require. Come on. Okay, it's just taking its time. My laptop has it's seen better days. There we go. It is 8 years old. Like when I say that we're trying to do this on a shoestring budget, you're definitely trying to do this on a shoestring budget. There's no middle ground here. Okay, so I have the tablet connected that you saw momentarily, and I've explained how I fixed the music issue. Let me actually just demonstrate this by just clicking play. I'll only use the internal system. You won't be able to hear the music, I don't believe, but it will show that we're now playing. I can click on round mode. Music is playing, it's continuing to play. If I pause it and I go to main menu, the music stays the same. Okay, So that's one of the changes. And I wrote some shop code, which I wasn't expecting to work as well as it did. However, I literally now have a shop. Play this game. Wait for my music to come in. Click shop. You can buy 1 hint for 6 coins, 10 hints for 50 coins, or 50 hints for 225 coins. Those prices were actually decided by AI as part of my little testing scenario. I can let you see the script for that, because this is the first script I actually think that I have completely written that was offline, and it wasn't intending to be offline. I was just so busy with everything else, this was getting fit in between my day job effectively. So yeah, the store manager basically had a open and close store where I set the main panel to active and then shop panel. So I had to create a shop panel, which I already had in previous tutorials. It was just empty. I make sure that it removes the listener, so it's not listening to open and close buttons when the script is removed. Some code in here for purchasing items. This needs tested, because I've not actually physically tested this yet. And here's basically the grabbing the information for each of the things to actually place on the display screen. And I've also implemented a test mode, so if I don't have tokens or currency and I want to try and purchase something, it's there. Excuse me. This is me creating the valid setup for the shop. And this is the startup, just setting everything, making sure that we have a shop manager, for example. And in the top, I define what's inside the store item. Sorry, the array of shop items, what's actually inside each item, what I'm expecting inside each item, and the variables for this. Now, if I jump back to Unity and we look over here at the shop manager, you can see that I have some test cash and some test tokens. Like I said, I had to set the main menu panel and the shop panel and open and close buttons, like I mentioned when I was going through the script. And inside shop items, I have added the 3 items that you see now. Something that wasn't in the initial code that I had written was the item quantity. So that was created, that was added separately from code that was originally generated. The grid parent is, if I go back to the shop canvas, we have a look, there's a, it's not in that one, do we? It's here, it's in here, and that allows us to space things out. I've also made sure that the close button is outside of that for the time being. And if we go back to shop manager, we can just click here to add new icons. Obviously, these are not, well, these are in-app purchases. They're in-app purchases with game currency. There is no additional in-app purchases at this moment in time. The images for this were actually generated. So if I go back to, can you see the store? Actually, I'll have to hide it, but I should be able to see it. Oh, in fact, no, I won't, because it generates it live. Right, let me play this. Okay. I'm going to get into settings. I'm going to nuke the music off, and I'll nuke the sound effects off and close that. Okay, so that it doesn't bug me every time I play. So if I go into a shop, these icons were actually generated. As you can see, they're just slight different variations of the same thing. So that's got a pin in the corner, that's got a pin up the top, and that's got a bigger pin. And it's basically a small pile of them. This will look, in fact, I can scale it here, can I? I can. Let me just. How do I move this about? move that about. Okay, that didn't help. So yeah, the icons are slightly different. If I go into my, I think it's in my graphics folder that I put it. Sprites. Okay. So inside sprites, you can see you have slightly different variations. I know this is small. You'll see it better when I push it over to the tablet. So I'll close that. And what I will do is I'll open up what I intend to do for this one, now that I've solved this problem, is we need to test the shop. Okay, and as always, when I'm doing these, I tend to have a snagging list of things that I've noticed are issues. If we also go over to, if you want to go over to Amax Games' website, there's now a support link with brain drain support here. At the moment, it's just listing the ads issue. I'm sure there's more that I've just not updated that with yet. However, if we go over here to the actual site, we can go to my intranet, which isn't obviously public available because it's intra. And go over to brain drain projects. Okay. So things that was on the to-do list, we had report bad questions. That's now done. That's now been implemented using Twitter. Is that a perfect solution? No. However, I don't know if I've got it open in this one. Yep. However, I have started to create a Discord server, which will allow people to give us direct feedback on it. It is very basic at the moment. Our beta testers will access to it. I'm considering adding Firebase Crashalytics to it, which will spit bug reports out, and hopefully I can get them plugged in here. I'm in the C-suites for me and the managers to have an additional gab, the different C-suite people, about anything that we need to give attention to. General's a general chat for everyone, and again we have a C-suite chat. None of these are really locked down at the moment, because as I say, the server's still being built. But this will be something that I intend to build on, and hopefully that's going to make it a bit easier in the long run. Because you can come and actually talk to our developers, you can come and talk to me or John, you can come and talk to our graphic designer when, and if we actually end up with one, you can give us direct feedback about bugs or directions or questions or categories. There's so many things we could actually do there. Okay, so we'll go back down to our snagging list. Keep music volumes playing when changing, and keep music volumes as the scene plays. So this is now complete, so I can take them out there and I can place them here, and then I can look off the strike through. Okay. So a in-app purchase store, right, we need to double check that. I need to try and fix the errors, the ads and banners being inconsistent. Okay, this check why the settings are reset when going back to the main menu has also been resolved. Settings page is now working again. They were all related, as were audio settings. And this, so all of these have now actually been done. Again, it was literally one thing that was causing all of these problems. And one of the things that I've said is we are new to this. We're new to streaming. We're new to coding. We're new to Unity. We're new to everything. Everything here. Eventually, experience would, if we had more experience in it, it would have been a faster resolution. So as you can see, our snagging list's getting less and less. I had to ditch an idea that I thought where I was going to do questions based on TV shows, because the more I thought about it, and when I was talking to ChatGPT about it, they pointed out the fact that it's licensed IP and I could get myself in trouble. So I'm going to have to generify a lot of the questions that I had, and that means that some additional question packs that will be available later are no longer actually going to be available at the moment, which is a bit of a bummer, but to be expected. So we have an in-app store where, an in-app store where games and cash game cache and tokens can be spent, right? So what I want to do then, so I can publish this just now. So that'll publish the changes that I've just done. Let's go back to, man, this machine is really dying. So close additional tabs that I don't need. Check that we're still live in the YouTubes. We are. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier on, Brain Drain is the main application I'm working on just now, but I do have Droid Test when I'm testing things. I might actually implement login providers. This is something that was brought up to me when I was discussing my game in the pub, so we shall see. So back down here, we've got our snagging list. So add in an app store and app purchase for DLC, right? This might go to beta and go to testing before I actually put the additional in-app purchases in, because there's a lot of background alongside that I have to do. For company-wise, there's a particular number that you require to set up in an account as a company. That is not provided, or is not. It is provided in the UK, but it seems to only be provided in the UK if you specifically request one. So it's you know, we have some back-end business work to do on that, and it's been particularly difficult to get me and Idiot John in the room at the same time. In order to do this with his shifts and my shifts from our day jobs, and the fact that the local bank that we would like to use, because it gives us additional software for things like accounting to make that a bit easier. Again, being new starts, that's probably a good idea. They are only open Monday to Friday, 10 till 4, and I kind of work 10 till 6, Monday to Friday, and John works evenings, so it's not perfect for us, but we will get there. This probably just means that it will be an extended time between us actually having finished a game and actually appearing on the App Store, but that's fine. We can, you know, I don't mind having a backlog of games waiting to hit the store at any point in time, and it gives us more chance for our beta testers to play around with it, because I can upload it to another account technically and have them beta test from that. If we weren't opening as a company, if we weren't opening as a company, then we would need this number. My understanding, it's something related to tax. So with that in mind, let's test our store. And then we can sign off in the store one, and then we can do some code reviews to try and fix the advert issue. And then this game's pretty much going to be ready for the big time, so to speak. Although, again, as you've seen from the Droid test, I think we should add social links to it to make it a bit easier to set up things like this, so that people can actually link to our socials. Facebook has never got back to me about trying to fix my Facebook account, because they disabled the Amax Games Facebook account. Didn't tell me why, didn't give me any information about it. And sometimes now when I try and log into it, it logs into my personal account, in spite of the fact that they're on separate networks and have different passwords, which is, yeah, interesting, shall we say. So yeah, they've completely ignored me on Twitter, and you can't talk to a person, and even their automated thing is useless for things like that. So unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. We may just never actually have to do it in Facebook, which is interesting in the sense that it's annoying, because we were actually looking to potentially make a Facebook version of the game and also a Play Store version of the game. By Play Store, I mean the YouTube Playables Play Store thing. We hadn't looked too much into that, but we did see that it maybe is the kind of game that we would be looking to, or that would kind of thrive in that environment. In any case, let's stop the babbling, because I've been babbling on for too long so far. and let's have a look at our code. So we need to test our shop, so that's nice and easy. The game is running, so we'll click on our shop. I probably need some information in here before this canvas, don't I? I need to show you how much money you have and how much money, how many tokens you have. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay. And I'm not sure, because I've got the hints written up here, I'm not sure that I actually require these to be displayed. So I think I might knock these out. I've not also decided on what to call the coins within the game. I was trying to find a logo, like a Nessie coin or something like that to go with the Scottish team, you know, Thistle coin. But I've not quite decided on one of them yet, so that's maybe something to look into. Right, so yeah, we'll find an issue with this. So we'll close that just now, and what we need to do is we need to go to our shop panel, and we need to go to our shop canvas. We need to right click, and we need to, is there a vertical? Yeah, there's not. Okay, so we need to do UI and text mesh pro, and we will call this cash. Okay, and we can duplicate that, and we can call this tokens. If I can spell correctly. Okay, second time looking. Wait, what did I add? No, that's correct, right? So cash, and then change that to say control cash. Okay, and then tokens. That's tokens. Okay, so now we need to sort these out. So I will turn off our main canvas, and I will turn on our shop. Well, technically our shop canvas is on, I suppose. Alright, so I need to place these somewhere. I don't quite know where actually. Where's the best place to do it? So let's select our move icon. Okay, I think cash should be here, and I think it should be anchored to top left. Okay, and I think tokens should be over here. And I think that should be anchored to the top right. Okay, now they're at slightly different heights. So that's at height 67. No, that's height 50, position Y. Right, position Y is 67. Or minus 67. Okay, so now what I need to do then is I need to unhide this, and I need to hide these. Okay. Actually, no, I don't want to hide them just yet, because I've not wrote any code to show or hide them elsewhere. So let's just leave them as is. Let's run the game and we'll open the store, because I think I'll need to put padding in to bring the store down so that it does not clash. To do that, okay, go to shop. Yeah, see, so for some reason the music started playing again as well. Okay, close So back into the shop. Yeah, I need to bring the shop down. So what I can do is I can select shop canvas. No, shop panel. Technically I could just bring it down a little, but I'm better just putting padding in from the top. So if I change that to 150, is that too much? 100. I think 100 looks okay. Yeah. Okay, sweet. So that's fine. So we know that the top padding in here needs to change to 100. Okay. So if we go back to our shop manager and I open our shop manager script, or store manager script it's called. And we want to add 2 new game objects to this. So we shall add public game object. We'll call it cache text. Okay, and throw a semicolon at the end. Okay, and just duplicate this. And we'll call it token text. Not yoken, token. Token, there we go. Okay, get 2 new variables in there, which I should be able to assign in the inspector. And on shop open, then I should also have to add cache text dot set active. That's going to be true. Okay, and then a semicolon, and it's going to be the same for at least I think this is the case. Yeah, it's going to be the same for token text. Okay, and then when closing it, you should be set to false. Okay, so hopefully I've got that right. So let's just save that. We shall wait for our game to recompile. Okay, so now to check that it's working, I need to disable cache here and tokens here. Okay, now if I click play, Just play the game, grr. Oh, that didn't work. Ah, it didn't work because I did not assign them. So this is my fault. I mean, it's all my fault, I suppose, but this is specifically my fault. So, yep, cache text. Oh, that didn't work. Oh. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, click and shop. And there we go, our cache and tokens. Okay, close, nice. So we've got our cache and token showing, but it's not displaying anything. Okay. So if we go back to our store manager code, then it looks like we grab current cache from here. But that won't help. Okay. So what I'll do is I shall select our code and I shall turn over to our guru because I've not used them so far today. I'm like, this is my store manager.cs in Unity. I need to change the cache text and token text to show the user's cache and tokens. I'm going to give it the code and we'll give it a moment to think. Wow, that was quick. That was very quick. So I've heard rumors that well, I don't think it's a rumor, but where it goes with it's interesting. Elon Musk is trying to take on Microsoft, and he's named a new company, Macro Hard. And one of his things is to have Grok edit and be able to create code in entire systems just by talking to it. So, you know, the idea being that it's basically a team of developers and you ask it a question that works specifically for you to give you the outcome that you actually require. And I think that's why, if you've noticed, I'm using ChatGPT less and less, because ChatGPT has led me down a garden path on a lot of things, and it's been incorrect. Whereas this seems to be more consistently correct. So it's given me some new code to try. So let's dump that in, save that. Okay. And now we can try it. Just wait for that to recompile. Come on, just play the game. That's all I'm asking. Okay, now I've got my shop. There we go. My cash and my tokens are showing. Okay. I should probably show the number of hints I have as well, shouldn't I? Okay. So, yeah, probably show the amount of hints would be a good idea too. Okay. So I'll duplicate that. And I will rename it to hints. Change text to hints. Okay. So now I have to position it correctly. So I'm going to have to hide this. And I'm going to have to show this. Actually, technically I need to show these three. So cash is fine. Tokens is fine. So token should probably be in the middle, so I think I should pull tokens across. So it'd be the X position, would it not? And it would be 350. No, 550. Something like that. I think that looks okay. Okay, so with that in mind, I then need to go back to our code. In fact, just go back to our chat GPT. Say, okay, I need it. Display hints as well. And to display available hints as well. I need to give it my main game code for it to work that one out. How is it stored, actually? I'll just tell it how it's stored in player prefs and we'll try it that way. So remaining hints. Okay. Let's search for remaining hints. Okay. Yes, but where is it? Okay, so it's called hints key. So I can copy that, I can go over here and I'll be, I need it to display remaining hints key. This is stored in this key. Okay, so hopefully this is just a plugin replacement. So go to your store manager, Control A and Control V. Really shouldn't needed to be much to be changed on this, to be honest. Save that. Drop back over it. Wait for it to recompile. Okay, and I'm an idiot. Actually, not quite. I'm fine just now. So I need to hide these. Okay, and I need to show this, and then we need to test. Okay. So that didn't work because that is no longer showing my cache, nor is it showing my tokens, and it's not definitely not showing the hints. So it went from working to being broken. Okay, so hints text wasn't shown. That's possibly part to do with it. Okay. So loaded hints text in there. Back in your store manager. Hint token cache. Okay, so it did set them correctly. So it's just not actually updating them correctly. Now let's try that again, just in case that was my screw up because of the not assigning a button correctly. Okay, shop. There we go. Everything's populated. Okay, so now we need to actually test this. Now the problem is the code at the moment. What? The code at the moment for purchasing this is literally just take away the cache, save the cache, and then tell you you've purchased the item, and then update the current display. Okay, so we need to add the logic here. In fact, we'll add it as soon as it's done this, before the player press save. So what does hints get saved as? Where does hints get saved as? In fact, it'll be yeah, so hint text. Yep. Okay, so updates all of them there. Okay. So it gets current hints, and then so it's update current display. Okay, so why is that 3? Why would that be 3 and the rest are 0? Okay, don't know. That's one for ChatGPT to work out later on. Okay, so those are local because it's set up in there, so they're not going to be available down here. There's purchase item there. So it would be and then it would be hints plus equals item dot quantity simple, I think. Okay, so let's do that. And let's try again. Back into our code. I'm having music issues again. Shop. Okay, so I have 500 in cash and I have 3 hints. Okay, so if I now buy one hint for 6 coins, it took the 6 coins off. It did not update my hints though. I had to go close and go shop. It did not update the hints. So it took away the coins but did not update the hints. Okay, it's interesting. So this line is wrong. So can I change that to current hints plus? Actually, no. Before I do that, let's check the update currency display, because maybe okay, so as long as it saves the hints, it should be fine. So, okay, we need a debug in here then. So we're down here. And we can do so debug.log. Okay. And that should be current hints. And then squirrely brackets. Okay. And then it should be the same afterwards, and those should have changed. Okay. So let's try that again. And instead of saying current hints, it should be post hints, post sale hints. Okay. So let's try this again. So shop, cash 500, tokens 25, hints 3. Click down here. In fact, I'll clear this before I do it. Click buy. Hints 3, post sale hints is 4. Purchase 1 hint for 6 coins, so it did update hints. Okay. So my code is working. Interesting. So my code is working. I wonder if it's this 3, because the rest have got 0. Okay, so let's just find the references to hints key. Because it seems odd that the rest are at 0 and it's not. Okay, let's try that. Stop that again. Run play again. Music's restarting every time, so it's not remembering the mute. Okay, and we've got a problem because hints are now shown at 0. But just for shits and giggles, if I click buy, hints were at 0, hints are now at 1. Close, go back into shop. Well, that didn't work. Hints at 0, click buy, close, back into shop. Hints are still shown as 0. Okay, so something's not right here. Something is not right here. Right, so I'm not sure why that code should be having a 3 at the end of it. So let's get in. I think that's the default, isn't it? Okay, right, yeah. So if there's no value, default is 0, right? So that's really irrelevant. So the problem is here. So we update the item quantity, which works because we can see it there. We then save the player preferences. We say that we've bought that item. then update the current display, and yet it's not updating. Okay, so try feeding this into our guru. Okay. Default contents. Yes. Is updated, but this is not saved or displayed. Jesus. Okay, key changes made to this are add a check to identify the purchase item as a hint. Okay. If something is a hint, the current hint's value is fetched from player prefs, incremented by player or item quantity. Save back to player prefs. Ensure player prefs is saved. Keep update currency. Okay, that makes sense. Let's copy that. Control A and Control V. And save. Jump back over to our game and wait a moment for it to compile. Okay, looks like it's compiled now, so let's just hit play. And knock off my sound. Okay, I'm going to shop. That quit the game. My dodgy mouse hits again. So we open our shop, we've got 0 hints, we buy a hint, hints get updated, money gets taken off. 2, 3, 4, yep. Okay, so let's buy 10 hints. Did that work? Yep, it did. Okay, and let's buy 50 hints. Awesome, right, I can't afford 50 anymore, so I click buy. Right, okay, so that doesn't give me an error. It just, it doesn't even debug log me on that one. Okay. Awesome. So we're getting there. So does that mean I should add a feedback.txt? I think I should, shouldn't I? Right. So So let's go back here. I should add a feedback text field that shows what the user has purchased. Or if the purchase was rejected due to lack of funds. What do you think? Okay, well, let's think about that. I have something to do. I shall be back in a moment. Okay, my microphone has now been untangled and I didn't deafen you all while doing so. So, okay, it's already suggested an improvement. So, yep, we'll do that in a moment. Let's copy this across first of all. And we'll save that. And we'll have to go back over here and create our feedback.txt. So we need to stop it from playing. Okay, so we shall hide our main canvas. And we shall show our shop canvas. More specifically, I suppose I don't really need to see them, but we'll go with this. We will show them. As annoying as it is to actually physically have to turn each of these on. I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut that makes it easier, but hey ho, again. Nobody ever said we were professionals in this company, at least not at this point in time of our careers. So, okay, so we need a new icon. We'll duplicate tokens. We shall call it feedback. Yeah, that totally looks like feedback, Davie. Okay. Change the text to feedback. Okay. And we shall be doing it vertically. So is that the X position or the Y position? X is up and down, yeah. So what did I do? Do I add like 1,000 to this? Yeah, that's not right. Okay, do you know what? I shall move this down. No, Control Z, come on. So feedback.txt should come. No, try again. Okay, so feedback.txt should be down about there, I reckon. Okay, so it was a Y position, I should be moving, not the X position. Oh well. Right, and feedback.txt, if it's zoom in, should probably be a lot larger than that. Come on, mouse. So we'll move it to full width effectively. And we'll bump up its size a bit. Okay. And we shall make it auto size. Okay. So if I get into Shop Manager, I suppose there's feedback text now, there is. So let's drag that in there. Boom. Okay. And now let's turn these off and see if they work. So now we can close shop button as well. No, close shop button as well. There we go. And now I can re-enable the original panel. Okay, hit play and we'll try again. I need to fix that bug. Okay, we're inside the store. We have cash, we have tokens, a buy, purchase hint 1x times 1. Okay, purchase hint 10x. Okay, that's not quite right. It's not quite right, but that's close enough. So it should be fine for now. I'll edit that in a moment, but I want to implement the other thing, which is the TMP text color. So what does it say? Color-based coded feedback. Add to the show message. Did it create a new? It did create a new message. So setting the text color based on sex or for example, add to. Okay. Message dot contains blanket purchase. Do I just put it in here? Try that. Come back into Unity. My overhead cam, in spite of the fact I've not used it, appears to be losing. It appears to be losing charge. I've got an external battery pack for now, but I may have to swap that out. Okay, so what was I doing? I wanted to check the feedback, didn't I? Let's play. I'll just ignore the music because I'm getting annoyed having to get in and turn it off. So in shop and do buy. Yep. Buy. Not enough cash for instance 50. Yep, that's fine. Okay, stop that. Okay, quit. We're good. Okay, right, so I need to change feedback text though. So I do. Okay, so hide feedback after delay, that's fine. Feedback text set, that's fine. Okay, so we need to show feedback text message because it's getting the message passed into it, so that's going to be sent from the purchase. Okay. So purchase item name. I'm just going to take this part out because the quantity is just going to confuse it. Okay. So okay. So right, we have fixed the shop, I believe. Yay. What else did Google have to say? Support multiple languages. I'm not doing the support for multiple languages yet. That's not to say that I won't in the future though. But that's cool. Okay. So, I mean, I'd say that's been tested for everything that's in it so far. So that's awesome. Let's go back to our snagging list. And we can now tick this one off. These may still come back as snags for requiring improvement. Anyway. So we can save that. So if we go back to our to-do list, which is up here, we want link to social media pages, links to company website, and links to game support. Okay, so I'll get 3 things added. So let's just save those. So I'm going to try and be cheeky here. I actually think that they should probably come under our settings menu. So if I go to settings and I hide our main canvas, and show our settings canvas. Then I should add a button at the bottom here. So we shall duplicate stats button. And it should be called social, I think. Social/support. Okay. Sweet. Save that. So at the moment, all that's going to do is open the stats page, but that's fine. What I want to do now is I want to open Unity Hub. I'm going to try something I've never tried before. So I'm going to see if I can copy between pages, between projects. So we'll open Droid Test. While this is open though, oh, that's not connected. Something's missing. The version control. There we go. Version control. So I'm going to check this in with fixed audio issues added working and install. Check that in. Okay, so this entire socials button here is linked to a social manager, which contains some of our links. So I want to right click and copy, and I want to move across here, and I want to right click and paste, and it doesn't let me. I suppose it's not really a surprise. Yeah, okay. That's fair enough. So in that case, I right click and is it not let me create a new one? Create empty. Okay. So I'll just call it social manager. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the backside. So inside social manager, I need a panel. So social button. I wonder if I can just create a new one under settings panel. Under settings canvas. So I disable that one and then enable another one. Now let's try that. So right click and create user interface, create canvas, and call this one social canvas. Okay, back over here we have website support, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and close, and they're all buttons. Okay, social managers. So how many buttons was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So UI button text mesh pro. Okay, and I need 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so in order to do that, I kind of need to nuke this one off. Okay. So I need to copy the canvas here. So it's a vertical layout group with 75, 75, 25, 150. So add vertical layout group. Twenty-five, 150, 25, 50, I think. Seventy-five, 25, 150, 25. 75, 25. Oh, oops. 25, 150. And then the final one, 75. No, it wasn't, it was 25. Okay. Awesome. So it's got width and height and width and height. Okay. So button 1 we'll call website button. Okay. And we'll change the text to website. And we shall make it auto size. Okay. And this one we shall call support button. Okay. And change that to support. Okay. And we're going to go auto size for that too. So the next one will be the YouTubes. And again, we change this to YouTube. Auto size it. So we also have, move the YouTube one down later on probably, but we shall do Twitter button. And resize that too. So what do we have left then? Got Twitter, we have Discord, Twitch and close. Okay. Okay. So Discord. Not really sure if we should continue with Twitch, to be fair. We've never really been getting any real info back from it, any people following us. And with it being one of those sites where it's not like YouTube, you don't have an archive after you've finished. After 7 days, it's kind of like, should we really bother? I'm not even streaming to Twitch anymore myself, so we shall see. Okay. So that's all the buttons created. So now I shall load the script into Social Manager. I shall have to copy it across. Is it going to let me do this? Probably not. Actually, copy path will work. Okay, so I just open up a. Boop. Doing this off screen, and it didn't copy the path. Of course it didn't copy. Right, it's fine. So my path is C drive users Davie, and for this one it is git, I believe. Droids test assets scripts, and then it's social manager.cs. Okay, control copy, and then I go back to the folder before git. So I'm going to users Davie and then into brain drain, into assets, into scripts. Okay, give it a moment to update. Or longer than a moment. In fact, it's not that one that will be updating. That's a fair point. Where did it disappear to? Let's brain drain. It's this one. Okay, now we have that there. I'll just associate it with the. Oops. Hold on a minute. Okay. I have no idea what it's done there. Okay, never mind. Okay, move on like that. Why is it creating social media? I don't need it to create these. Okay. Social manager. Okay. Yeah. Social manager script. There we go. Okay. So now I need to just copy our details across. So from the social manager thing, like Amax Games. I don't have a Facebook ID, don't have an Instagram ID. YouTube, it's Amax_Games. Okay, Twitch handle is Amax Games Davie in this case. Discord invite is there. Okay, there we go. So now we have to link the social panel. And that didn't work because obviously it didn't, because my mouse is a pain in the backside. So that's the social panel. That's the main. Getting irritated now. That still didn't work. That's the main panel. The open shop button is also not going to let me click it directly because why the heck should it? Okay, so That should be social button. I don't know why it says open and close shop button. I should probably edit those. And that should be the close button. Oops, that didn't work. That should no. Oh, I hate this mouse. Come on, Logitech. Somebody get me in front of Logitech so they can actually try and sponsor this. My mouse and keyboard have always been Logitech. In fact, the webcam is Logitech as well. Okay, so now with them set up, let's go in and edit the social manager code, or rather social manager code. Okay, find the word shop because it's not shop. Okay, yeah. Love the spelling there. Social. So social open, social closed. Everything here looking fine, hopefully. Any errors? No. Okay, let's just find shop again, make sure nothing there. Okay. And try and save. Jump across. Give it a moment to recompile. Okay. So these buttons now need to be linked. Actually, can do it this way. No, I can't. Fantastic. Okay. So, no. Come on, mouse. Too many of these to do for you to screw me over. Script didn't work. So open and close buttons aren't showing either anymore. It's fine. Social button, that didn't work because it double clicked. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, back here. There we go. And this one should be social media, open web. This one should be social media open support, or open web support. Try and stay calm. Social media. Open YouTube. Social media, open Twitter. Social media, open Discord. Social media, open Twitch. And then social media, can't do that. Social media, close socials. Okay. And then go to our social button. Change it to socials. Social media, open socials. Okay, hopefully that's now all set up. And I can just disable this. And re-enable this. And it should work, hopefully. Let's try that. I think my overhead camera has just died. Last very long. Okay. Settings. Social and support. Okay, I need to change the buttons to be in line, but that's fine. If I click website. Yep, that opened the website. If I click support. That opens support. If I click YouTube. Opens YouTube. If I click Twitter. That works. And if I click Discord. Takes me to the site. And if I click Twitch, yep. The Twitch one taking me to Twitch one's taking me to Twitter, so the Twitch one's wrong. The Twitch one is wrong. That's fine. So why did Twitch one not work? Yeah, because I changed it to open Twitter. Okay, so that's that solved. Right, so now we need to get the correct sprites on them. Okay. Okay. Try that again. Okay, that seems legit. Double check the Twitch one. Now I've corrected it. Yep, that worked. Sweet. They do seem a bit large for icons, but I suspect I'm going to end up adding more icons to that as we go forward. So, yeah, that appears to work. Let's save that. And we should do another upload. Say which social media pages created. Okay. Awesome. So now back to one of the other issues I had spotted. So let's go back to our to-do list. So link to game support, link to company website, link to social media pages, they're all now done. Okay. So what our snagging list has music, mute, not on or getting started, and main game interface is the not match menu options. Menu button settings. Okay, so I'll add these on here. So well, let's save, and then we'll go into scenes. We've got about 15 minutes left of the stream, so we're fine. And I'm never too tight on it. I don't stop the stream exactly on the hour mark, shall we say. Okay, so here we go back into sprites. Into main canvas. Check that in a moment. Right, well, let's do the main canvas first. So the submit button should be textured. The hint button should be textured. Add hint button should be textured. The report button should be textured. Pause button should be textured. Reset button should be textured. And the quit button is, yeah, it should be textured as well. Play again button should be textured. Question connected. I think the rest should be fine for that one. The pause menu. All three of these buttons should be textured. Oops, that was the wrong one. There we go. Okay, and this canvas report pop-up. It should be textured. Right, should clear that up hopefully. So let's try again. See how it looks. I need to find a better way to charge my overhead cameras. The battery's died, as is the battery pack it's connected to, which is interesting. Just play. Okay, which TV show begins the line? How you do? I don't know if it begins with that line, but hey ho. Okay, you look fine. So I need to play through this. Pause menu looks fine. Resume. Reset button looks fine. Everything looks fine. Okay. Perfect round, plus 10 cash, plus 1 token. Awesome. So that's all been cleaned out now. Okay. So I'm going to strike that one through. I'm going to copy it as well. I'm going to remove the store for coins, tokens, and hints. I'll put add in a purchase for DLC. I'll strike through in that. Okay, right, let's see if it can help us fix our banner ads next. In fact, we'll see if we can fix the music next, I think. Banner ads might be quicker since there's only like 15 minutes of the stream left. I'll probably stream later on again today, just for the time being. I try and keep these into 2-hour chunks because that seems to make it a lot easier. That seems to make it a lot easier for me to actually manage it, and I think especially when I'm having problems and it's frustrating me, it's obviously going to be frustrating for you people, especially if you're actually good at coding, and you know, screaming at your screen, just do it this way. Then you know that's why I kind of settled on it around 2-hour mark. I generally don't stream for less than 2 hours unless there's problems. I think I've done that once or twice. And I think my longest stream so far has been in a single session has been 2.5 hours. Okay, so in-app purchases and mute music. Okay, so that's cool. Thank you. So let's go back to our guru. Not used for quite a while. Okay, and we'll go back to new chat. Okay, and I need to provide it with a code. So here is my music manager. Okay, while it's processing that, it's set as manager, isn't it? That's incorrect. I just gave it the wrong information. Oh, actually, ignore that. Yeah. Okay. Alright, screw it. Sync difficult within Sentence Manager. You include product right later. Add flip over Sentence Manager. Okay, so let's give it the Sentence Manager then. Where is that, my Sentence Manager? I can't remember. It's been almost since I've done this. I don't think it's. So right. Let's try that again. Here is my music. .cs. I'll do the code overview while I grab I mean, that's decent improvements, but it's not what I'm looking at the moment. Let's get script. Work with it. Just wait for it through it. That's a lot of changes. Okay. So let's give me a revised version of it. Which one was that? Menu settings. Okay. So if yes, I am having an issue if the sound is set to mute for music and I exit the game, then I reopen. Next bit of music is not muted. Settings manager. So do I actually have a settings manager script? Have I forgot about it? Is that what it is? Let's get rid of this one because I'm not using it anymore. I was sure I had a settings manager script, and I do have a settings manager script. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so it's still going. Yeah, I like growth. That's what's right. Here is my settings. That's the script. Oh, it bulked it. Oh no, it's still thinking. I thought it bulked it, that one. I think it is going to bulk it, this one, though. I think that's going to fail. So I suspect this is going to have to wait till my next stream. Let's stop him because it's clearly not doing anything. So I think this is Grok's response when you've actually used it too much for the day. So let's just double check. I think that's maybe because I've hit our limit. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. I've hit my usage cap. I love how everything's about disabling your VPN, your ad blocker and extension these days, even if everything's been working perfect up until this point. Right, so I think I've just hit Grok's limit, which is interesting. I didn't actually think I'd hit it that hard today. So that's fair enough. Right, well, with that said, I shall let episode 24 go into the sunset, and hopefully you can all enjoy. Why did that drop from 2 hours down to an hour? You can hopefully all enjoy this at a later date. I'll likely log on and later on and actually do some more of this. But thank you for joining us for the stream, and I shall see you in the next one.